ASMR Magical Tools. Hi, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am eating one of those atomic red fireballs. Just so you wonder why it sounds like I have a marble rolling around inside my mouth. So I'm going to be burning a little bit of cassia, and to do that I'm going to light this candle. It's getting burned down quite a bit, and then we can use this candle wax for the ceremancy. I think I'm also going to put a little bit of this oil actually into the candle. Here we go. Yeah, it'll just add to the way that it smells nicely. Lovely, 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 lovely. It takes a little bit for the cassia to catch. You can see that the smoke's starting to come out. It's burning. It's burning now. It smells just divine. Now feel free to just relax and let the smoke permeate your auric field. Cassia smoke is very good for protection, but also for bringing wonderful new things into your life. I also want for you to pay attention to any of the thoughts that pop into your head at this time. If you have anything like worries or concerns, or if you start to feel anxious at any point, just acknowledge those feelings. And then let them go. And additionally, just start thinking about what kind of information you'd like to get out of the reading today, and what kind of information you'd like to have moving forward. It's possible that you have tasks that you'd like to accomplish. Or maybe you're thinking about buying a house or a car. You want more information about that. Or you want a new job. Or you'd like for new love to come into your life. Or maybe you'd like to experience some spiritual growth. You can kind of hear it crackling a little bit. Don't worry too much about having information at this point, or worry that the messages will come to you. Well, they either will or they won't, but you'll get, hopefully, something that you can use. that over there and let it burn some more. We've got our candles going quite robustly now. Pour it into here. If I can get there we go. Not every week that I can get it to focus on the things that I want it to. All right. That'll set up to be a really good read this time. For the scrying today, I'm going to be using this piece of garnierite. It's a type of moonstone. This one is a pale green color. There are many different varieties, different colors of moonstone. Moonstone is good for scrying because it's very sparkly, and it's very light in color. Sometimes I do use labradorite for scrying, but because it's dark in color, it can be very obscure and kind of muddy. Obsidian, of course, is often used for scrying too, but because the surface is very reflective, it does make for a good scrying experience. Sometimes, as you will recall, I do like to shine light in through the other side, but if it's alright with you, I'm just going to start picking up your energy with the garnierite. There we go. Yeah. You're doing a great job so far, by the way. Perfect. All right. Let's get started. So let's start looking at the ephemera, shall we? The 5th, Wednesday, May 5th. The moon is going to be in Pisces. And then by Wednesday, May 12th, the moon will be in Taurus. So the sun and the moon being in the same sign, you know that we'll be having a new moon over the course of this week. Mercury is in Gemini. So the moon in Pisces is going to be square Mercury in Gemini, and that is going to be an overnight energy between Tuesday the 4th and Wednesday the 5th. Happening either very late at night or very early in the morning, depending on which part of the United States you live in, if you're living here in the US. The moon in Pisces is a very contemplative energy. There could be intuitive awakening and prophetic dreams while the moon is in Pisces. Square to Mercury in Gemini, that's going to be a very logically driven energy. And in that way, will be a little bit counter to the moon in Pisces. So you might be having prophetic dreams about things, but not really have a good frame of reference, and therefore discount them. Always write down your dreams if you can remember them. Later in the morning, the moon in Pisces is going to trine Mars in Cancer. Now, that's going to give you an opportunity to work through some of the harsher elements of this Mars in Cancer transit that's going on right now, because of course that has to do with that Mars energy passing through the highly emotionally attuned sign of Cancer, which is then going to lead to all kinds of people perhaps getting their feelings hurt, perhaps being a little more selfish than usual with their emotions. But the moon in Pisces, of course, will help that because of the intuitive aspects, so that you'll be able to be a little more empathetic to others. Later in the afternoon and early evening, there will be a sextile between the moon in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus. So then that creating a very harmonious atmosphere for all of the things associated with that Uranus in Taurus transit, where you're going to be thinking about jointly held possessions, and possibly brand new ideas related to financial stability in your life. And again, this moon in Pisces energy just being very intuitive and bringing some of these things to light, and also increasing people's empathy. On Thursday the 6th, the moon in Pisces is then going to sextile the sun in Taurus. And sun in Taurus really highlights people's sense of stability in their lives and their finances. So that's going to be very early in the morning, but that will have similar effects as the sextile with Uranus in Taurus, of course. Venus in Taurus is going to trine Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is, of course, retrograde right now. That's going to still be pretty early in the morning, but some of you might be awake for that. Venus in Taurus is very good for money. Venus is, of course, associated with romance, but can also have to do with money. And in its native sign, one of its natives of Taurus, can really reinforce financial stability, and can reinforce stability in partnerships as well. This Pluto in Capricorn trine is going to give you an opportunity to work through some of these issues that a lot of us have been having over the past year or so of creating something lasting in our careers. There's going to be a conjunction between the moon and Neptune in Pisces. That's going to be in the afternoon hours. Moon and Neptune are very good energies to have tied together. So if you are going to do any kind of meditation for psychic purposes, divination, things like that, this would be an excellent time for divination. That's going to be 2:17 on the west coast and 5:17 on the east coast. Finally, we have a sextile between the moon in Pisces and Pluto in Capricorn, and that's going to be an overnight energy. This is also going to start an opportune period where you can finish projects or clear away unnecessary clutter during the last quarter moon. Again, leading up to the new moon is an excellent time to shed things, to do like spring cleaning type stuff. So this would be an excellent time to take part in some of your spring cleaning rituals leading up to that new moon in Taurus, so that you can start bringing in financial abundance and bring more stability into your life. That opportune period is going to last until the moon enters Aries. So it's going to be an overnight energy, starting around 10:30 p.m. and going until about 5 in the morning. So if you are a night owl, it'd be an excellent time to take advantage of this opportunity. And that is, of course, West Coast time. On the East Coast, the opportune period will last until 8 in the morning. So that will be good for those of you who wake up early to go to work, and possibly you can get started cleaning out your desk or your work area. Or if you are doing things around the house, waking up before the sun rises, you get the idea. So then on Friday the 7th, the moon in Pisces is going to sextile Venus in Taurus. And that is going to be the first thing that happens in the morning on Friday the 7th. So, again, the moon in Pisces being very good for this intuitive, psychically attuned energy. Psychically attuned. So that you might get new information coming into you from spirit guides or ancestors about ways to improve your financial stability. Then the moon is going to enter Aries. And the moon in Aries is going to sextile Mercury in Gemini. Mercury being in its native sign when it is in Gemini. Mercury's two native signs being Gemini and Virgo, and then Venus's two native signs being Taurus and Libra. Right now we have Mercury and Venus both in their native signs. So an excellent time for those qualities to come out. The moon in Aries could be hidden things about new beginnings, or new beginnings coming to light. It can also be about the sense of self, and especially as that relates to Mercury and Gemini, that could be, Mercury was often thought to be very androgynous, or to not really be one gender or the other. And Gemini has to do with duality and the self. So you could be having new revelations about who you are as a person. It doesn't have to relate to gender. Gender is often used in the context of Hermeticism and alchemy to illustrate dichotomy and illustrate duality. So that's, just think of it kind of that way. That there could be parts of yourself that seem very disparate, but that actually everything ends up fitting together very well. Then an overnight energy bringing us into Saturday the 8th is going to be a square between the moon in Aries and Mars in Cancer. Aries and Cancer are both cardinal signs. The cardinal signs, their energies tend to be truer to their nature than they are to the self. Even though Aries is about the self, it's about exploration of the self. And that being true to the Aries nature. If that makes sense. You'd have to see it in action to understand, maybe. Cancer being very much about emotional reciprocity with other people, between you and other people, and how other people's emotions will affect your emotional states. And so that square could be kind of difficult. It's going to be around 10:35 p.m. on the west coast and 1:35 a.m. on the east coast. So a lot of you might already be in bed by the time this transit occurs. And again, it's just going to be a little bit tense because it is a square. Hopefully nothing terrible will happen. There's going to be a conjunction between the moon in Aries and Chiron in Aries immediately after that. So that will give everything related to that previous transit an opportunity to heal. That's what Chiron energy is about. And it could very well have to do with the self or to do with beginnings. In the later part of the morning, we have a square between Venus in Taurus and Jupiter in Aquarius. And at first glance, the square seems like a very difficult transit for these two planets, but you have to remember that Venus and Jupiter are very like-minded planets, like-minded planetary energies. Now, Taurus is about stability and finances. Aquarius has to do with new ideas and has to do with social groups, right? So there could be tension there, absolutely. But I think it's going to be in the sense that people are going to be working together to move a situation forward that's going to lead to wealth and expansion for everyone involved. And then after that, we're going to have the moon in Aries sextile Saturn in Aquarius. And again, Saturn in Aquarius, an energy of disrupting the status quo. So this moon in Aquarius, or the moon in Aries, could be about the self and finding new ways to integrate into the new orders within social groups. And then much later in the evening, toward night, Venus is going to join Mercury in the sign of Gemini. Now, Venus is also related to Gemini in the same sense as the Lover's card from the Tarot, because again, there you have this energy of duality and bringing Venus into that dynamic having to do with romance. On Sunday the 9th, which is Mother's Day, the moon in Aries is going to square Pluto in Capricorn. Again, Pluto is retrograde at this time. And this is going to occur either around 10:15 in the morning or 1:15 in the afternoon. Pluto in Capricorn in retrograde, again, is going to have to do with career energies, but also like these energies of how you're able to utilize the resources at your disposal. That's basically what your career is, right? The moon in Aries could be a new beginning coming to light. And that tension being there might drive some kind of action. The square creates tension, but it's also in some ways a very stable transit as well, because if you think about a house has 4 walls, so this could be really illustrating for you how you need to go about beginning this new part of your life. There's going to be an opportune period that starts with this square also, which is going to be very similar to how it was on Thursday, which is that you can finish projects or clear away unnecessary clutter leading up to the new moon. And that opportune period is going to end in the afternoon when the moon goes void, of course. And at that time, the moon in Aries will be sextile Jupiter in Aquarius. And this is going to, if you recall, that the previous morning, the moon in Aries was sextile Saturn in Aquarius. That Jupiter in Aquarius coming through after Saturn in Aquarius is then going to take all of that concretion and establishment and expand from there and create wealth from there. Now, the opportune period is going to be about, let's see, it's going to be about 5 or 6 hours in the middle of the day on Sunday, which is Mother's Day. So keep that in mind. Your mother might consider it a nice treat to have someone come in and help with the cleaning or help with organizing, or you guys might end up going through old keepsakes, deciding what you really want to hold on to and what you'd like to get rid of. But of course, you should never force your mother to work on Mother's Day. That evening, the moon is then going to enter Taurus, which is going to start setting us up for that new moon. So on Monday, May 10th, the moon is going to be in Taurus. It's going to sextile Mars in Cancer. And that's going to be in the afternoon. Again, Mars in Cancer being very much about these kind of rough edges around your feelings and how your needs and other people's needs can either be aligned or be in conflict. This moon in Taurus is things coming to light about stability, about finance. It can also be your emotional attachment to finances and stability. Because this is a sextile placement, it should be an easy transit to get through. There shouldn't be too much tension there. There's going to be a conjunction between the moon in Taurus and Uranus. The moon in Uranus being in conjunction is, there's this very iconoclastic energy around Uranus that can be wonderful for creating new ideas or for stumbling upon new ideas also. That moon in Taurus energy is going to have to do with your emotional attachment to finances and stability, but can also shed light on new options for you. So that could be a very good time on Monday the 10th to really set a good foundation for yourself and possibly for your family heading forward into the future. There's going to be a sextile between Mercury in Gemini and Chiron in Aries, and that will be a good time to work through some intellectual aspects of possibly your past selves, but also about beginnings and how you want to be moving forward. This could be a really good time to do some accounting in regards to your moral beliefs, because again, this is a very intellectual place. So not just looking at your spirituality, but more looking toward like social issues. It could be a good time to do that. It could also be a good time to evaluate your level of education. And while Mercury in Gemini is not as much about higher education as, say, Sagittarius placements, it is a good time to evaluate what kind of training you might need to have moving forward to create new beginnings for yourself. Also, we're going to have a square between the moon in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius. And this could definitely bring to light some insecurity about your stability, especially if there is a lot of disruption in the status quo. But because it's a square and it's creating tension, this could lead to a greater resolution for everyone. So Tuesday the 11th, it's going to be the end of Ramadan. There will be a new moon. And that new moon is usable 1 hour before and 1 hour after the sun-moon conjunction. If you have something important to start around now, this is a great time to do it. That conjunction is going to occur around noon on the West Coast and around 3 p.m. on the east coast. Next, we have a sextile between the moon in Taurus and Neptune in Pisces. So that will give you some time to psychically and intuitively process all of that energy from the new moon and that conjunction. Mars in Cancer is going to square Chiron in Aries, and this really is going to give you an opportunity to work on some of these interpersonal things that are being brought to the forefront by the Mars in Cancer energy. And remember, Chiron being the healer, so it is an opportunity to grow as well, even though it is a square and it will be creating tension. There's a sextile between Mars in Cancer and Uranus in Taurus right after that. And these things are occurring in the evening. That sextile with Uranus and Taurus is going to possibly bring to the forefront how jointly held property or possessions are affected by the emotional states of the parties involved. But because it's a sextile, it should be a smoother transit to get through, and that is going to be following that square with Chiron. So it should be a natural evolution of that energy. There's going to be a trine between the moon in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn, and that's going to be an overnight energy bringing us into Wednesday the 12th. So that moon in Taurus bringing to light things about financial stability, and Pluto in Capricorn being this very transitional energy surrounding career and the way that we're able to utilize our environments to our benefit. And with Pluto in Capricorn also retrograde. This could be a very good time to really set a good foundation for the future as far as finance and stability are concerned. The moon is going to go void, of course, right after that. And the moon in Taurus is then going to square Jupiter in Aquarius. So everything that you saw back on Monday with that square between the moon in Taurus and Saturn in Aquarius, this could be the progression of that into the wealth and expansion phase. Next, the moon is going to enter Gemini. And Mercury in Gemini is going to trine Saturn in Aquarius. Now, this is a good air sign trine. Saturn is a very heavy energy, and Mercury is a very light and quick energy. So it will be interesting to see how this shifting of group dynamics and changes to the status quo will be affected by this Mercury and Gemini energy. This could be new ideas, it could have to do with education, it can have to do with siblings or your immediate surroundings, it can have to do with short distance travel, and of course, dualities. Next, we have a conjunction between the moon and Venus in Gemini. The moon and Venus being conjunct is a very feminine energy, definitely. The moon is very cyclical, in that the moon's orbit of the Earth has a lot of effect on us here. And being in Gemini, And that having to do with duality can have to do with relationships with siblings. So it could be not just like you and your partner, but you and your partner and then both of your siblings involved in a situation. And bringing to light things about short distance travel, all of those kind of energies wrapped up together, but it should be a very harmonious time. And then finally we have an overnight energy between Wednesday and Thursday of the Sun in Taurus, sextile Neptune in Pisces. And that, of course, bringing in the opportunity for psychic attunement and intuition regarding the Sun being in Taurus and all of those themes of finances and stability. Hi, Aries. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's see what is going on with you for the month ahead, the week ahead, starting May 5th. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There could be, it's like a piece of clothing with like little pills all over it, or it could be that you discover that little branches or little brambles have gotten stuck to a piece of clothing or in the carpeting of your car. And other people were working out when you came in. And then when you come in and get on the treadmill or the bike or whatever, slowly the rest of those people filter out and you find yourself in the gym alone a lot of times. And it might seem like people are avoiding you, but it's not the case. It's just how timing works out. Like if all those people get out of work at a certain time, then they're going to go to the gym at that certain time and they'll probably be done with their workouts around the same time. So, that doesn't have as much to do with you as you think, and that could pertain to the gym specifically, but it could pertain to other situations in your life. Purple fillet knife. There could be like a purple handled fillet knife. I know that sometimes they have these color-coded knives so that you can pay attention to what you've cut with each knife, and that way you don't get cross-contamination. So there might be some confusion between you and another person about the usage of this knife, that you might be using it in a way like you're opening letters with it or something. Yeah, it seems weird. It also seems like I'm seeing somebody hacking at a piece of wood with like this, and you know, a fillet knife is, the fillet knives are very thin blade, you know? It's not like a butcher knife that you would be able to actually hack at wood. It's like, I'm not sure why they're doing that. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's definitely going to dull that knife. But it could be that there's some confusion about what to use it for, and if you're using it for one purpose and they're using it for another purpose, obviously one of those things is going to be incongruous with the other in this case. He's not going to stop you from using the knife, but it could cause conflict. It could be one of those things where the person just doesn't want to say anything, and so they just fester about it. Somebody's going to buy a new knife, though, so maybe there end up being two, and then there's like a discussion about it. So it could be something like that. And those fibers in the carpet. So, yeah, somebody going out for a hike and then getting back into the car with, like, boots on that they've just been hiking and picked up, like, a bunch of, these, like, little fibers or seed pods or brambles or prickers or something like that. And they've gotten, like, into the floorboards, into the carpeting of the vehicle. What else do I need to tell Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising about the week ahead? Give the person some money toward the purchase of the knife. So it could literally be a purple fillet knife that you and another person in the household are using. It could also be representative because I did get car imagery there, and a few other things. So it could be that it is comparable in price point to a nice fillet knife. And it might be nice to give that person money toward the purchase of a new item, whatever that ends up being. But that's really more to preserve your relationship with that person. I don't think that they feel like you owe them money. I don't feel like they are expecting you to chip in for it, but it would be a really nice gesture. So if this comes up with a person that you really care about, you may want to consider doing that. Let's move on to the bibliomancy. If you would, just direct your question right here into the cover of the book. Great, wonderful. Okay, yeah, I think I can. Fail not by persevering industry to fill thy barns with grain, thy purse with money, in case of need. So it's just inviting you to be parsimonious with your resources in case you have a time where you need a little extra money for something. Aries, thank you so much for joining me today. I always enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Taurus. Welcome back, Taurus. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Some of you Taurus sun signs will be having your solar return this week, so I would like to wish those of you a happy birthday. This reading will be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We will also have a Taurus moon this week and a new moon. So that'll be fun. So that'll apply to Taurus moon signs as well. And Taurus rising, you're also included in this. This will be for the week, Wednesday to Wednesday, starting May 5th. Taurus, what are we looking at for you today? A wide open pasture. So this is a very Taurian thing to think of. I remember when they used to have those advertisements for California dairy, and that the sunshine and the open air was supposed to be a really pleasant environment for the cows. They would always make the jokes between each other about how much they love living in California. Now, I'm not sure if these are the same dairy farms. But there's a stretch of I-5 where you drive up from LA to like the Sacramento area. And I think it's like right around Stockton, maybe. They have the big cow farms. You can smell them from quite a ways. And they don't look as nice as the commercials would have you believe. Now, I'm sure that there are plenty of cows being raised in ethical ways. Cows are really beautiful, lovely creatures. But the exploitation of cows is not just hard on the cows themselves, it's also hard on the environment. Raising cows can be very destructive to the environment, especially if it's not done in a mindful way. So there's this idealized version on the one side, and then on the other side, there's the worst possible scenario. And somewhere in the middle, we've got what is the reality of the situation. There's something here about the eye of the beholder, too. So, that being that from one perspective, something could look really wonderful. It could be a very great situation, and that same situation from another perspective, not even an opposite perspective necessarily, could be, this is the worst case scenario. So there's going to be something that you're dealing with this week, possibly Taurus, that is like that. It's neither the best case scenario for all, nor is it the worst case scenario for all. For some people, it will be the best case scenario. For some other people, could be the worst case scenario. And it doesn't necessarily mean that those people are on opposite sides of the spectrum. There's just a lot of intricacy to a lot of these moving parts. And remember that we've had Uranus in Taurus for quite some time now, which can deal with a lot of these situations. And we will also have Venus in Taurus for a lot of this week as well, and the Sun in Taurus and the Moon in Taurus. So, quite a bit going on. but it doesn't make it bad. It just means that we all need to be extra aware of each other's space, especially because Mars is in Cancer right now. But if you want to know more about that, you can watch the ephemera at the beginning of the video. Catching a glimpse of a warship on the horizon as well. And of course now we have radar, we have all kinds of sophisticated systems to find out what is going on with a ship before we come upon it. But again, about the eye of the beholder. So, if you don't have access to the radio systems, if you're not using radio systems, you just see the ship coming towards you. It could be on fire. I see like a big cloud of black smoke. The warship itself, you're looking at it head on, and you see the warship itself coming out of the water, and then coming out of the top of that warship, you can see the little flags on the guidelines flapping in the breeze, and there's this big cloud of black smoke coming off of the top of the ship. So it looks like the ship might be on fire, or that there is some kind of fire on the ship. There could also be some kind of way that the smoke is released. I know there's those pickup trucks that people have rigged up to spit black smoke out the back. And they might have something like that going on with this ship. It's kind of like the sense that the ship is playing possum. So again, the eye of the beholder, this could be something that is very dangerous, but doesn't look dangerous. It looks like it's in trouble. It looks like it might need your help. But keep in mind that anything as big as a warship, you are not responsible for helping them out. All right, Taurus. Well, there's quite a lot going on. All kind of all over the place. If you would direct your questions right here into the cover of the book. All right, I think I've got it. Okay. Act with caution, and thou shalt undoubtedly triumph over a powerful enemy, and endeavor to settle all differences in a private manner. Taurus, thank you so much for joining me. I enjoy our time together immensely, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Gemini. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So this will be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The Moon will be entering Gemini at the very end of this week. This will be the week starting on Wednesday, May 5th. Mercury is also going to be in Gemini, but you can find out more about the ephemera at the beginning of the video. This will be for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I don't remember if I said that yet. Gemini. I feel like somebody's peeking around the corner at you. I don't know how to describe this comic, but it's like when you see your friend coming from a distance, there are things about their mannerism that even before you are able to see them clearly, it could be the way they walk. It could be certain elements to their motions, or it could be a particular piece of clothing that's very distinctive and bright color. Somebody that you know very, very well. Sometimes you can tell who they are from quite a distance, even before you're able to see them clearly. So, I see somebody peeking around the corner at you in a very playful way. Could be a friend, could be a sibling, little sister, could be your little sister. And she's I don't know if some of you are estranged, but I feel like there's going to be a reunion between you and a little sister, and that's going to be the case for some of you. Some of you, it might be that you're estranged. You might just live very far apart, or it might be a situation where you just don't end up seeing each other very often. And especially with the circumstances over the past year, I know a lot of us have been separated from our loved ones due to circumstances. So there could be a situation like that where you're going to be reunited with a close family member. Rotting teeth. I don't know if it's your rotting teeth, or some of you might be dentists or dental assistants. And it's not just like cavity in one tooth. It's like that there's like general hygiene issues going on throughout the mouth. But rotting teeth can also be symbolic of other things. So it can also be symbolic of allowing things to get too far, because the maintenance of your teeth is something that must be done on a regular basis. You have to do it every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And so it can be symbolic of these things that are neglected over time that end up being very deleterious to your health. Poor dental hygiene can lead to a variety of other health issues throughout the body. Heart problems can lead to pericardial issues, septicemia, bacteremia, depending on how severe the oral hygiene issues are. So I feel like it is not necessarily as much that it is literally tooth decay problems. I feel like this is something that it's as easy to take care of on a day-to-day basis as brushing your teeth. But if it is neglected, then it can end up having the same kind of ramifications and repercussions in your life. So it could be something that's just very much like that. Something that's just very much like that. Oral decay, hellhounds. could have to do with like being in debt to somebody also, and that if you had been paying small amounts over time, your debt would be greatly reduced, but it's been neglected, and so now it's in collections or something. And again, it could be something like that, that it's not necessarily any one particular one of those things, but it could be a similar situation to that. You can start now and get it taken care of. Yeah, this is definitely something where if you catch it now, that you very well could reverse the effects. But there will always be that little point there. Obviously, like, these things never go entirely back to how they were, so it might end up affecting your credit report, or you might have to get a bunch of cavities filled or something like that. Yeah, because now I'm hearing more about like the accounting measures that have been taken, work release program, but that there's some kind of discrepancy. So it might be that you are working with people who are coming to you from some kind of particular agency, and that there's supposed to be some kind of accounting procedures. And if you don't keep up with those, you could get into a lot of trouble. So that's part of it too. And it's because you're working with these people from this certain agency, and that the agency requires this documentation because of some contract that they have with the government. So it goes like all the way up to the government. For some of you. What else do I need to tell Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising about the week ahead? Let's move on to the bibliomancy. How many of you remember that show, Perfect Strangers? Does anybody remember what Larry did for a living? That just came to me, the theme song. I think some of you work in the same line of work as Larry from Perfect Strangers, but I don't remember what he did. If you would please direct your questions right here into the cover of the book. All right, I got it. As the glorious sun eclipseth the light of the stars, so will the partner of thy bed be accounted the fairest among people. It says women, but it could be men or women. This was written for Napoleon, so I guess he was into girls. I guess. That's not what I heard. Anyway. Gemini, thank you so much for joining me. No, I don't mean to speculate on the sexuality of a long-dead dictator. That's his business. Gemini, I really enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Cancer. Hi, Cancer. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back. This is going to be your crystal scrying for the week ahead, starting on Wednesday, May 5th, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. Now, the big news right now in Cancer is that Mars is in your sign, and you can listen to the ephemera at the beginning of the video if you want to know more about that. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. What do you have to look forward to this week? An egg. So you are incubating an egg. I don't think it's several eggs. I don't think it's a whole brood or a clutch. I think it's just one egg. It's golden in color. And I can see pulsing from within it all these beautiful iridescent colors. It's like a warm gold color, but the shell is like an eggshell, but it's translucent, and I see all of these pulsing colors within. So some of you might work in production of some kind, video production or music production, and be involved in stage props. It could be something like that. But you are incubating this egg. There's something very miraculous inside, and I know that you are waiting for it to hatch. And when it does, your whole life is going to be fixed, is what I'm hearing. Like, all these problems just won't exist anymore. So I don't know exactly, because people always have problems. It doesn't matter how rich you are, how beautiful, how famous. There's always going to be difficulty in life that's just beyond your control. But I think in this particular case, there is something that you are allowing to incubate at this time that's going to be truly wonderful for you. And this week, it is getting very close to being ready. For some of you, this definitely could be pregnancy, that you are actually about to give birth to a child or about to conceive a child, possibly also. Not at the same time. So for some of you, it could be conceiving, and for others of you, it could be giving birth. The timeline here. I'd say some of you are about halfway through. Let's see, so if this is the timeline, we start here, we end up over here, that it could be a third of the way to halfway, right in here, right in that kind of zone. And some of you are really expecting wonderful things to come out of this. So I think that, I think there is a lot of promise there. And all of you will be getting something this week that you're not expecting. And in a good way, a good surprise. I know that's what you always want the fortune teller to say, but I think in this case, it's either going to be a new idea, it's going to be the resources come through for you to do a certain thing. It's going to be that you end up having this thing come into fruition that you've been working on for a while. But for you this week, Cancer, I do see that there are going to be things coming through for you. The egg might be hatching for some of you. For others of you, of course, it's going to be about a third of a way to halfway through its gestation. But that you might start to see the colors shifting under the surface of the eggshell and start to realize that something truly wonderful is coming your way. Yeah, let's move on to the bibliomancy. And if you would, just direct your questions right here into the cover of the book. All right, I think I've got it. Keep thine own counsel, and success will attend thee. And neglect not the opportunities which may be offered to thee, for they will lead to great preferment. Cancer, thank you so much for joining me this week. I always really enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi Leo, welcome back. This will be your forecast for the week ahead, which will start on Wednesday, May 5th, and will be for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So, out on the savannah, there's very few trees. It's mostly grassland. There are grasslands all over the world, but in different places they have different names. And in Africa, they are called the savannah. You have different wildlife there, like lions and elephants and zebras and other animals like that. I think springboks also live on the savannah. I don't quite remember. Resources are not scarce, but they are slightly more limited than in other environments. Water can be a little bit limited. You have to find the correct watering hole. And going to the watering hole can be a little bit dangerous. So the environment that you're in now, there might be resources that are slightly limited, but not scarce. So don't get any kind of weird ideas in your head that there's any kind of scarcity, because there's definitely not. And especially for a creature like yourself, who is at the top of the food chain, you will be able to find an abundance of what you need. There's no need to hoard it. Clever creatures. There are clever creatures afoot. You being one of them, of course. Knowledge is a resource. Yes, that's very true. And there are gifts that you possess that make your function within this environment very specialized. And that's the case for lions on the savannah. It's also the case for you in whatever you're doing. Don't lose sight of your skill set. I think that you might be in a situation where your natural talents are not necessarily being rewarded in ways that are very tangible. But that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not the right thing to be doing. I think that it's very important to play to your strengths right now and to recognize your gifts and nurture your gifts. Nurture your gifts. And your idea of success will fall into line with that. I'm sure there are things that you want out of your life. I know I have things that I'm really working toward in my own life. And you can absolutely have those things, even though it's going to seem that there's a finite amount of resources and that things are not necessarily scarce, but they are finite, which is true. And it's important to use that as a reminder not to hoard, of course, but again, it really is not something that means that you cannot have this because there's not enough. So eliminate that idea from your mind that you're not going to be able to obtain something just because it is a limited resource. The people around you know that. And the more limited a resource becomes, the less likely people are to help each other sharing it around. So understand that also, that it's not that these people don't want you to have something. It's that because it is a limited resource, people are not just handing it out. There are other aspects to that too. Like, it may seem like somebody's not really into what you are doing, and that's fine. They're actually doing you a favor because you already know that that person isn't into what you're providing or what you're putting out there. And so you can focus your energies on meeting new people and finding the people who are really into what you're doing. And that's going to be crucial to your moving forward. So there's not like some kind of backward dance that you have to do either. Just put what you're doing out there and present it the way that you want to present it. Don't try to dress it up for somebody else. Put it out there in the way that is true to what you want to be doing. And that is how you are going to find the people that will help you bring this into fruition. All right, let's move on to the bibliomancy. Biblio. And if you would, kindly direct your question to the cover of this book. Perfect. Great job. Always do such a great job. Often men in low circumstances have risen by their industry to the loftiest stations. Go thou and do likewise. Leo, thank you so much for joining me today. I always enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Virgo. Welcome back, Virgo. Welcome back. This is going to be for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, starting on Wednesday, May 5th. Wednesday to Wednesday. Virgo, what are we dealing with? Well, for starters, Mercury, which is native to your sign, is also native to Libra. No, Gemini. Mercury is native to your sign, and it's also native to Gemini. And Mercury is in Gemini right now. So, you can go back and listen to the ephemera to hear more about that. But a very logical kind of a time. Virgo, what are we looking at for the week ahead? Some kind of intergalactic vessel piloting the ship through the stars. Some of you might be fans of series like Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars, Battleship Galactica. Have I hit it yet? Should I keep going? Firefly, heavy metal, the comics of Mobius. What am I missing here? I feel like I've left a lot of stuff out. Dune, Twin Peaks. Just kidding. Just kidding. But in all seriousness, these are uncharted territories. So to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before, you're going to run into brand new life forms. And the thing about that is you have to be able to be diplomatic right off the bat and understand these entities at face value. And not be racist, of course. It seems like it's very easy to not be racist, but sometimes you can be taken off guard. I didn't even realize this was a life form, and I've accidentally broken part of it off and used it to wipe my nose or something. Yikes. Plead diplomatic immunity on that one. But yes, going into new civilizations and new situations can be hazardous for a number of reasons, even if you're a very nice and reasonable person. I have often myself found this a very stressful thing to do. But I think that you're going to be keeping an even head about it and be able to really excel at keeping your wits about you and remaining very friendly and kind to those you encounter, even when you're not quite sure about the frame of reference or the best way to go about things. I think that it will all end up fitting together very nicely for you, Virgo. And the key is just going to be your relaxed nature. Virgo's relaxed, you say? Well, yes. I mean, we're not talking about how to set a table or how to organize your junk drawer. We're talking about just casually being in the presence of other people. And I think you're really going to find a new side of yourself in others and in your interactions with others over the upcoming week. People people that you may never have thought would be your friend otherwise. Coming to know them in very close and in very close friendships. All right, let's look into the bibliomancy. Biblio. Just direct your questions right here into the cover of the book, Virgo. Harbor not unjust suspicions, for thy friends are now occupied in devotional duties. Virgo, thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope it is a pleasant one for you. I always enjoy our time together greatly, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi Libra. Hi Libra. Hi Libra. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This will be for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, starting Wednesday, May 5th. Libra. Some of you are feeling like actors in either horror movies or explicit films, like dirty films. Some kind of like exploitation type film where it's not like 100% pornographic, but it's very risque. Some of you are just feeling like you're coated in like a sticky film of fake blood, possibly. Fake blood is very difficult to get out of things. A lot of times it has a corn syrup base. Anything with a sugary base like that is very difficult to clean up. Some of you have this sensation of being a little bit sticky and a little bit grimy inside and out. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in what you're doing, Libra. And I think it's important for you to understand that. There's a certain amount of underlying guilt that I feel like you are associating with some of the things you're doing right now. And I think it could be based on not who you are now, but who you've been in the past, and things that were told to you in your childhood as being the truth. And they were not necessarily true, and you might also be remembering them a certain way that is not the totality of the situation. Adults sometimes say things to children in an attempt to govern their behavior that are not entirely correct. And the motivations behind that person saying that represent a very specific context that is no longer valid. And so you're going to have to go take a shower first, wash off all the fake blood, and then start reevaluating and deconstructing some of these elements that have been implanted in your psyche based on erroneous assumptions about who you were going to end up as a person. Like how you were going to end up as a person, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it might have been parents, it might have been a youth pastor, it could have been anybody, honestly. Children can be very impressionable. I'm not saying you are specifically Libra, but that... Oh, wow. That's a neat flash. Yeah, sometimes there are things that are lying right underneath the surface that become suddenly illuminated by a flash when you see them from the correct angle. So that's what just happened with the stone. And you can choose to focus on that and parse out a little bit more about its structure and purpose in your life and how it is contributing to either wrong-headed assumptions on your part, or it could be carrying you forward into the future. Alternatively, that there are a few different ways to go about it, and none of them are mutually exclusive of each other either. So, many different categories to put things in, and some things fit in multiple categories. None of the categories are completely discrete from one another. Some things are going to fit in multiple categories. And in order to put them into each category, you are allowed to make photocopies. You can make photocopies and distribute throughout. So, yeah. But then underneath everything else, there's this expectation on your part that eventually you're going to get to a point where all of these things are discreetly contained. And that may or may not be the case, because as you put things away, they're going to bring more stuff up from the mailroom to be categorized and folded and put away. Libra, is there anything else that I need to tell you about this week ahead? Mars is in Cancer. And Venus, which is native to your sign and to Taurus, is in Taurus and will be moving into Gemini at the end of the week. So, if you want to find out more about that, you can watch the ephemera at the beginning of the video. Let's get into the bibliomancy. Libra, send your questions right into the cover of the book. Wow, that didn't take long at all. All right. Money may be staked, but goods and lands ought never to be risked at the gaming table. However, thy goods may soon be recovered, so none of these situations are totally discrete of each other. I always enjoy our time together greatly, Libra. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Scorpio. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, Scorpio, welcome back. This is going to be for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, which is going to start on Wednesday, May 5th. Scorpio, there's a fly in your ointment. fly in your ointment. Or like, there's a fly in my whipped cream. Something that's very pristine, and you try to keep it very nice before you consume it. And somehow a pesky little gnat has wormed its way in there. So that everything is very good, very orderly, until this happens. And it is disruptive to you, but very inconsequential. Very inconsequential. I don't think it will be a great disturbance. I think it's just a momentary, like, shock to the system. You just get startled by it and then you move on. There are other people around you who are anticipating this. It looks like it's almost like almost like a prank being pulled on you. Like when somebody gets one of those fake ice cubes that's got a fly inside and puts it in your drink to see how you'll react, and then they film it and then they send it into America's Funniest Home Videos or something. It seems like there's an element of that to it. That this could be a prank that somebody's pulling on you. They don't want the consequences to be extreme, but they are watching to see how you handle it. The vision of circumstance. What do you mean, the vision of circumstance? That depending on the circumstances surrounding your being caught off guard by this thing is going to dictate how you respond to it. And it catches you at just the right moment that it ends up being not that big a deal and kind of boring for the people who have set you up. Because I do think it was just like this kind of prank that these people set up. I don't know who it is exactly. These could be people that know you very well. These could be people that don't know you well at all. I'm getting kind of a coworker or a roommate vibe. But that they find it amusing to set you off somehow. And that because of that, they had planned this for quite some time. And the fact that you didn't just completely lose it over this prank was very anticlimactic for them. But frankly, they deserve it. What do they really need to be pranking you for anyway? Because they were, I think, expecting at least some kind of reaction, and I think you just kind of pick it out and then keep going. What sort of nebulous horse fodder? Yeah. What sort of nebulous horse fodder is going on with you? I don't know. It could lead to a blow up on their part. That because you didn't react, then they start attacking you. And you might be very confused by this because you won't have even noticed that this person was pulling a prank on you. And so then when they lash out, in frustration that you lack understanding as to why they're behaving that way, because you didn't notice that you were being pranked. Okay, Scorpio, let's move on to the bibliomancy. Biblio. And if you would, just direct your questions right in here. Yeah, okay. A partner in thy business would ruin thee. Keep thine own counsel, and success will attend thee. Scorpio, I hope you have an excellent week ahead. I always greatly enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Sagittarius, this will be the reading for Sun, Moon, and Rising sign Sagittarians for the week ahead, beginning Wednesday, May 5th. Wednesday, May 5th. So you were asked by someone to do something for them. This is somebody, either a partner, it could be a family member who's very close to you, it could even be just a very close friend. This person has asked you to do them a favor. And that favor is going to take you a lot of energy or resources to execute. So that it's very much going to be a hassle for you to do this thing. But you are happy to do it for this person. If it was not just somebody who is a treasure and a delight in your life, you absolutely would not do this for anybody else. The Sunshine Gang? This isn't like Casey and the Sunshine Band. This is like something about so the Sunshine Gang is like this group like you would see on a children's television program that would, like a public television type show. And they all wear cute little overalls, and it's like a group of little kids wearing green overalls and striped shirts, and they're very multicultural. And of course one of them is in a wheelchair, and they have a dog. You're going to go and meet with these people, and why is this such a hassle to you? You've had to go out of your way to do it. It might have taken you a lot of resources to acquire the audience with this group of children in green overalls. It could be that this is like a birthday present for this person. If you have a kid too, it could be that you are taking them to see Disney on Ice or something like that, and you really had to pull a lot of strings to get tickets. It's that kind of a vibe. But this group is very wholesome, like almost sickeningly so, that but your friend or your partner or your child or even a parent like really adores this group and wanted to get to see them in person. So there's definitely something like that at play in this situation, and I think that you've really pulled a lot of strings to make it so that this person can see them. And it's going to mean a lot to them. It could even be life-changing for some of those people. Because of course this is a general reading. So the situation specifics are going to be different for each and every one of you. But it might completely change that person's life. And it might greatly augment their perspective of you as well. Sagittarius, what else do I need to tell you about the week ahead? Give them a little bit of space in that environment too. Don't worry about them screwing something up or feel like you have to be right there with them the whole time and hold their hand through the experience. I think it would do both of you some good to kind of remove yourself from the immediate situation and just let them have their enjoyment of whatever this thing is. Yeah, let's move on to the bibliomancy. So, if you would just direct your questions right in here. Great, perfect, great, wonderful. You're doing a great job. You're a great friend. It will, but out of their own mouths will thy slanderers be condemned. Ooh, also avoid edge tools like knives and saws and even screwdrivers. Screwdrivers are edge tools also, don't forget. Sagittarius, I hope you have an excellent week ahead. I always greatly enjoy our time together, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi Capricorn. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. It's good to see you again. This is going to be for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, beginning on Wednesday, May 5th. Capricorn, what trouble are you going to be getting into this week? I see all the pictures I've ever seen of Reykjavik and Iceland. There's just sheets of ice and snow on the ground and icy mountains jutting out of the background. So some of you could be going to parts of the world that look like that. But I feel like sunshine coming down on you, so it's warm. I don't feel like it's freezing cold. I feel like it's actually quite warm, but it is still cold enough to preserve the ice and snow. It's not melting. frosty demeanor. That could be a metaphor for your frosty demeanor, that you're actually quite warm to the touch, but deep inside is this frosty demeanor. So there's kind of like the warmth that radiates out on the surface, but then deep inside, you're frozen quite solid. In your core, the Saturnian core of a Capricorn. And it has to do with your self-defense mechanisms that you feel like it's important to preserve. And I certainly would not disabuse you of that. But consider that it is much easier to shatter hard substances like ice and crystals than it is to mold wax. Something like wax is much more malleable and can be shaped in different ways. It can be broken, but it can be melted down and will resolidify to a different shape. And some of it is very soft. It can be molded quite easily. And I'm bringing up this simile because obviously water can be melted, or ice can be melted into water also. So what's your point? What's your point? What makes wax better than water? Wax can float on water. And it's just a lot more versatile than ice when it comes to design options. But I'm already 70% water, you say? Well, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just presenting a counterpoint. There may come times this week where you wish you were a little less stoic and that you were giving more of yourself away, more of your heart, more of your passion, more of your feelings. Oh, I thought I had water over here. My throat is kind of tickling. I'll get water in a moment. It's not too late. All you have to do to give of yourself to others is just be open to the experience. And you don't have to tear down every last defense you've ever held in order to do that. I think that you may find this week that you're a little bit more open to sharing parts of yourself with other people, and that it seems a lot less scary. I think that's really the bottom line, is that this week it's going to seem a lot less scary. You won't seem quite so frigid. And by that token, you'll seem a lot more relaxed, a lot more naturally relaxed and less pensive. What else do I need to tell Capricorn about the week ahead? Get yourself some chocolate or a nice pastry or something else that you really enjoy, a comic book or even like a pizza or something like that. Just treat yourself this week and connect with your humanity. If you would kindly direct your questions into the cover of this book. All right. Fair enough. Keep your secrets. Just kidding. Here we go. At one period of thy existence, attempts will be made to misrepresent thy conduct in the eyes of the world. Capricorn, I hope that you have a lovely week ahead. I greatly enjoy our time together. I hope you like it too. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is going to be for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, beginning May 5th, Wednesday, May 5th. Aquarius, what will be going on with you this week? So Seven of Cups is a card that's about different energies that are going to be available to you as paths opening up in your future. And I feel like you also will be having 7 different options opening to you over the week ahead. Some of these options will be very good and you will want to explore them. And some of the options will not be good, and you will want to avoid those. Yeah, there are a few different aspects to this. One of which being that some of these are related to your educational path. That doesn't necessarily make it a good option at this time, though. Some of these are going to be related to your family, and some of them are going to be related to people that you just met. All of these different opportunities kind of like forking off in a bunch of different directions for you, Aquarius. And you may have emotional attachments or nostalgic feelings about some of these things. So it's important to compartmentalize that and keep it separate from what your future is going to look like. In this particular case, you do not want your nostalgia for certain situations to cloud your judgment regarding what your best options are going to be. I think it's going to be mostly important for you over the week ahead to get a new pair of glasses as far as these things are concerned. Clarify your vision. Walk backward towards the future. Look at the past, see the past for what it is, but look not forward to the future. Just blindly go for it. Is there anything else I need to tell Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising about the week ahead? Do your grocery shopping ahead of time. Make sure that you have food in the house going into this week. so that you, for one, don't have to go to the grocery store every day, and for two, that you make sure that you will have the resources you need to get through this week already in your house, because I feel like it might be kind of busy. Is there anything else that I need to tell Aquarius? Yes. If you have any paperwork that needs to get done, go ahead and do that before this week as well. Basically that everything needs to be taken care of that you conceivably can do going into this week. Do not procrastinate at this time, because you're going to want to get all of that stuff taken care of ahead of time. Yeah. All right. Aquarius, if you would just direct all your questions right here into the cover of this book. Wonderful. Wonderfully done. You're doing a great job. Look at this frontispiece, by the way. It's quite smart. All right. So I actually am going to take your answers, not from the questions part of the book, but from the story part of the book. Illness may occur at a physical, emotional, or psychological level. Distress and disease are an underlying part of illness. When one woman asked question 25, which is about illness, she was surprised to receive the answer: if your love is true, it will be duly appreciated. She thought at first it was irrelevant, but she thought more deeply and realized her condition had in fact reflected the difficulties she was experiencing in her relationship. Her partner had withdrawn and was distant and cold. She thought he was falling out of love with her, but her symptoms were actually based on psychosomatic distress. When she spoke to her partner about the situation, he had been withdrawing because he was suffering from depression. And because they communicated about it, her psychosomatic illness dissipated and she was able to provide him with the support that he needed to recover from his bout of depression. Aquarius, thank you so much for joining me this week. I do greatly enjoy our time together. I hope that you have an excellent week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Hi Pisces, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Have you been having a good week? Okay. This will be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week ahead, beginning on Wednesday, May 5th. Alright. Pisces, what will be going on with you this week? It's time to make some banana bread. How can I tell? Because your bananas have almost gone bad. Sitting very squishy and black on the countertop. But that just means that it's a perfect time to make banana bread, which you can also freeze if you're not ready to eat it right away. But the great thing about banana bread is that it doesn't last very long. People are eager to consume it. So there could be a few situations like this in your life coming up that there's something that is almost to its expiration date, and you are going to be able to use it to make something else, which will last much, much longer. Pisces, what sort of thing could it be? It could be a creative endeavor. Could be that you have like a certain type of tape or glue or markers, something like that. It could be an organ, or I'm getting the sense of like when you donate an organ, you want to put it into the recipient as quickly as possible. But it's going to be a scenario like that. That is just a very life-affirming and life-preserving process that you will undergo over the course of the next week. And I feel like some people are surprised to see you. Not because they don't want to see you, but because it was thought that you were indisposed for some reason. I thought you had to work today, and then you show up somewhere, and people are pleasantly surprised to see you. There's a caveat, however. There's a reason why people might have thought that you were indisposed, and it has to do with somebody saying things about you that may or may not be true. It's gossip and hearsay, which, regardless of whether the content is malignant or benign, always ends up having a deleterious effect because it's just not the truth, and it's not based in reality, it's based in conjecture on the part of this other person. So, rather than speaking the truth and saying, I don't know, this person might be just spreading falsehood about you. And like I said, it could be perfectly benign, but it's just not the truth, and that's not good. What else does Pisces need to know for the week ahead? I think some of you need to renew your driver's license, or that it's time for you to send off the paperwork to renew your driver's license. For some of you. Obviously that's not going to be true for everyone, but that was a specific message coming up for the week ahead for somebody, so best of luck with that. I think the thing about it is that if you start working on it now, you will get your driver's license in plenty of time before the expiration date. I think that the thing is, maybe you have time to deal with it right now, or maybe it's just a good time bureaucratically to deal with it, but that the advice is to take care of it now. All right. Let's do some bibliomancy. Biblio. If you would, just direct your questions right here, Pisces, into the cover of the book. Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Good temper and fidelity are all thou mayest depend on. And I assume that's in oneself and not in others, because of course we cannot control others' behavior. Pisces, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you have an excellent week ahead. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Alright, so here we have the wax from the Ceromancy. We have this little piece here that looks kind of like a hat. We have, what else do we have here? This could be like a boat or a car, so some kind of transportation, could be travel. This piece looks a lot like a dinosaur or a lizard to me. And even from the other side, or like a dragon. A dragon before he sprouts his wings. So, indeed, very much vibes of travel or things in the planning stages that will turn out to be very great, very powerful things. But that at this point of the process are just brand new babies to be nurtured and fostered. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me this week. I hope all of you enjoyed the readings. If you did, please leave me comments down below. I really appreciate it. I do have a link in the description box if you would like to submit questions for future Q&A videos. I also have a link if you would have dreams that you would like to submit for dream interpretation in upcoming videos. And of course, both of these submissions have the option for you to submit anonymously. I find that, I get a lot of questions about dreams, but the thing about dreams is that a lot of these things are very particular on a case-by-case basis. And so if you are able to submit to me dreams that you've had, then we can discuss them in greater detail, and it will help everyone understand better how dreams work and how to use them. I hope that all of you have an excellent week ahead of you. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.